Too long didn't watch. I finally do a documentary I've been avoiding. Let me start by being truthful because I feel like I need to do that. The reason I haven't been doing any SBP content is because I have actually been kind of forgetting that I made that an option. Do keep in mind I started that fairly recently, and so I'm still like trying to work out what I'm doing. Don't get me wrong, I have plenty of ideas, including those weird cringe documentaries that somebody praised, like, woo! Alongside that, I don't know what to do for Chuck E. Cheese content because they seriously, okay, so they're shredding tons of their tickets for no reason and doing a bunch of things when they could have put it to the side. They could have done certain things that aren't this disappointing. But you see, I think they need milk. The school wanted to give you this. Let's actually get into the documentary though, because this will, it won't take a while, but we should get into it. That's what the video is about. So my documentary today is going to be on Rolfe DeWolfe, because he's my favorite. And his little pal Earl Schmerl. I think we should start off with the fact that the animatronic that became Rolfe was Stonewall J. Fox, I believe his name was, and he was part of the Confederate Critter Show, and he was playing a banjo. So there's that. And then alongside that, there was a character that looked like him called the Wolfman, which is a parody of Wolfman Jack, and they pretty much took Wolfman. They shaved his face, they gave him a goofier personality and said, looking like a Rolfe to me. And then they just kind of paired him with a puppet and said, and that's his homeboy Earl. Wanna know a cool fact? Rolfe wasn't technically supposed to be a permanent character, but I guess he eventually became one. I actually am working to get a plushie of him. Anyway, but he wasn't supposed to be a permanent character and often was changed out for characters like Statue of Liberty, Santa Claus, and Uncle Clunk. I have seen two of which. I prefer Santa Claus, because Uncle Clunk, he's, well, he's just Uncle Clunk. We don't talk about him. Now, Rolfe and Earl didn't really perform with the rest of the band, unless you count special shows like any of their Christmas shows, such as 12 Days of Christmas. They really didn't join in too much with the band because, of course, for some reason, they're just their own little side thing. Which, I mean, that would be me if I were part of a band. I'd be the side thing and then everyone else is doing their thing. I mean, that always happens in friendships, so why not do that in a band? Well, even though the boys weren't performing, they would also have like their own little side thing of comedy or whatever. Earl seems to have a mind of his own, and I think that's one reason why they made him a comedy thing, because, Earl can talk for himself. Earl don't need anybody to talk for him. He is a free person. In the year 1987, which always reminds me of the Bite of 87, no thanks to Five Nights at Freddy's, the boys were made into a character called Yogi Bear, and Yogi Bear was placed on Billy Bob's stage. This wasn't for all locations. This was for 3 of the test locations, and realistically, I can kind of see that they were seeing whether or not they want to keep Yogi Bear as a character? Question mark. Toward the end of the Showbiz Pizza era, Rolfe and Earl mostly did background vocals for, the characters, and they still weren't a huge part of the show though, because the focus was growing to more towards the band, like Fats, Mitzi, Duke, Beach Bear, Billy Bob, Looney Bird, pretty much everyone but Rolfe and Earl.